Welcome back to the Level Up Leader podcast, where we delve into the minds and journeys of those who are reshaping the landscape of leadership and entrepreneurship. I'm Michael King, your guide on this journey to unlocking the secrets behind sustained success and personal growth. Today, we're joined by Austin Armstrong, a digital marketing virtuoso, the brain behind Syllabi Pro, and CEO of Syllabi, an innovative tool transforming how business owners approach social media content strategy. With a staggering 3,000 plus videos on TikTok and a profound impact across all social media platforms, I thought that Austin is definitely somebody that you would want to connect with. He embodies the spirit of innovation and resilience, so he's a perfect guest for this platform. Austin, welcome to the Level Up Leader.
Michael, thank you so much for having me on. I'm humbled by your opening there.
Oh, well, it's kind of cool. So my name's Michael King. You're Austin Armstrong. So we definitely have some power in the names represented today.
Yeah. You've got a great name. I've been told that it's my superhero name.
I love it. I love it. I connected with you just briefly, and I didn't even really necessarily know who you are. I started coaching kind of in the social media space, working with Social Media Examiner, Vista Social, and some other social media platforms over the last few years. And then all of a sudden, I'm at Social Media Marketing World, and a couple of other people said, you got to connect with this guy. And then I started following you on social, and my mind has been blown. Probably one of my best value resources that drops into my feed on a daily basis, to be honest with you. So I'm super thankful that you decided to say yes to my invitation. So thanks for being here.
Yeah, no, it's a pleasure. Thank you so much for saying that. I try to provide as much value as I can for people.
You do a great job. I'm gonna kind of dive in because I really want people to get to know your story because it is super fascinating. But I mean, this thing goes 19 plus years of you being, head deep into social media marketing strategy. And I loved what you said to me on the pre-call. You just said, social media marketing has changed my life. And I really want our people to hear that story. So can you kind of give us the lowdown as far as who you are and how'd you get to where you're at today?
Yeah, absolutely. So, my name's Austin Armstrong. I'm currently CEO of two companies, Socialty Pro, which is an organic digital marketing agency, and Syllabi, which is a workflow tool, one-stop shop for video marketing on social media for service-based businesses. I got started on social media when I was 14, just sort of stumbled into it. MySpace had just come out. And I, like all teenagers at the time, were completely captivated by this new thing, this new online experience. Before that, I was early on the public-facing internet with dial-up AOL hours and jumping into chat rooms and theme chat rooms and connecting with people. And I was just really immersed from a really young age into these online communities. And when MySpace came out, I really just took a loving to it immediately, and it just clicked. So I joined. I got connected with these other individuals that were like me. Like before social media influencer, a decade before that was even coined a term, we had these like AIM chat rooms that we would all go in to promote each other. And then we ultimately leveraged that to monetize in a lot of different ways. And it's a pretty funny, like, full circle. I'm doing exactly now what I was doing 19 years ago as a 14-year-old and 15, 16. I grew a large following, and people were interested in how they could grow a large following. And I had a brilliant friend at the time who was a great website developer ahead of his time. And so we actually built a website to help other people grow on MySpace. And so I was the marketing tool. I leveraged my audience and my proof of concept to promote this website that we built to help other people. And fast forward to today, that's exactly what Syllabi does, and the tools that I share. I got started in video marketing about 10 years ago. That's really my professional journey. So I started as an unpaid intern at a video marketing agency that specialized in the behavioral health space. So working with drug and alcohol treatment centers, therapists, psychologists, and whatnot, and really loved that, and saw the long-term vision. It just combined all of the things that I had learned previously with my professional goals of getting into video production. And so I worked my way up from an unpaid intern to a paid intern to part-time to full-time, which led me to be head of digital marketing at several drug and alcohol treatment centers. 5 years ago, I started my first company, Socialty Pro, with my boss from the agency that I was an intern at, which I think is an awesome story of just playing the long game. I went from an unpaid intern to business partner.
Mm.
Um, and learned so much from that process, and repeatable processes in Socialty Pro, that eventually that whole concept and idea turned into what is Syllabi, because I wanted to take what I've learned and what has worked for me and so many other people that we've worked with, and turn it into a software that can help hopefully millions of people. So it's been a fun journey.
That's absolutely brilliant. So all the way from MySpace into working with drug and alcohol treatment centers and being in that space, and now Socialty Pro and Syllabi. There's been a lot of change within social media marketing over the last, almost 2 decades, right?
Yeah.
Um, what has been one of the biggest changes that you've seen?
Definitely the inclusion of short form video. So it took 15 years of experience, really before short form came out, for me to explode in my personal brand. So behind every overnight success is a decade or 15 years of past experience that's unseen. And so exactly like you said, there's so many platforms that have come and gone, and formats that have changed everything. Vine walked so TikTok could run, I like to say.
Oh
And
yeah, that's good.
just so far ahead of its time. I loved Vine, 7-second vertical videos. They just couldn't figure out how to monetize it. But in the years leading up to TikTok, I kind of thought it was stagnant. All of these big giant platforms were kind of copying each other's main features. Stories came out, and everybody's just siphoning from one another, and there wasn't any drastic innovation until TikTok comes on the scene. And the adoption was so fast and so massive that it forced change on every other platform. And so that's really been the story of the last 4.5 years now on social. Now, there's been some audio formats and platforms that have come and died really quickly, but short form content really is the nature of the game still. I mean, we're seeing the AI evolution now. But yeah, short form has changed every single platform, and it's enabled me to gain millions of followers in a very short period of time. I think it's never been easier to grow on social media than these last couple of years.
That's interesting perspective. Um, so obviously TikTok is kind of your secret sauce per se, or at least one of your favorite platforms to operate within. But I follow you on kind of everything. What was kind of the big breakthrough moment when you realized, hey, I think I'm onto something here with this short form video with TikTok?
Yeah, so I always give credit where credit's due. So I had gotten started on TikTok, and I was about 30, 60 days in and didn't really get any traction because I didn't really have any strategy. And so at that time, I had seen a webinar from Rachel Peterson, awesome entrepreneur, awesome content creator. I've now chatted with her a bunch. I got to get her on my show at some point. But how she framed using TikTok as a search engine really resonated with me as a longtime SEO as well. And so that was that single aha moment, and it allowed me to give myself an ultimatum of okay, for the next 30 days straight, I'm only going to create business oriented content to promote my company, provide value, SEO tips, digital marketing tips, strategies, everything that I know specific to digital marketing, just deliver incredible value. And if after that 30 days, I don't see any noticeable traction at all, maybe this is not the platform or the format for me. And amazing things happen when you focus in, you have a goal, and you set a deadline as well. It clicks. And so that's exactly what happened. And so I had one video take off about SEO, it was so silly. It's about how to like compress images and apply metadata on the images for local SEO, which doesn't even really work anymore. But that video got like 100,000 plus views. It got a ridiculous amount of comments. I did video responses to every single comment. I cranked out like 200 videos, and that launched the entire account.
Mm.
Started getting leads. I was gaining thousands of followers. I gained actual business from that. And so that was the moment that, oh, there's something here. This is like, I've been waiting my whole back career for this format of content because it's how my ADHD brain works. Like short form content has resonated with me so much. It's so much easier for me to create that content than any other form of content. It's just about noticing, what trends, what topics and content is working online, but what format works for you individually as well. Like some people are amazing long form text content writers. Some people are the best podcasters. Some people are amazing at long form video YouTube. Some people are great at short form content. Recognizing that and going deep in that one thing. And I've never looked back. That was that moment, and it's changed my life.
Fantastic. So 19 years ago, and you're kind of getting into this whole thing and starting to realize, hey, there might be something here for the future. And now, in 2024, you're launching Syllabi, which is a phenomenal platform. What are the things that you're doing different today versus what you did, way back when you started off on your TikTok journey?
Well, I'm much more multi-platform focused now. So TikTok has deleted my account 4 times, and now they haven't restored it. So I just start again. Um, but the first time that it got deleted, I realized that you can't put all your eggs in one basket, and it's really important to control your audience as well and diversify. So I use that as an excuse to figure out the nuances of every other platform that's really pushing short form content. And so that's actively what I do. I focus short form content across TikTok, YouTube, Instagram, and Facebook. And I just, as a marketer, pay attention to what platforms are getting me the most amount of engagement, and I lean into those. So for the past year and a half, it's been Facebook of all platforms. Facebook gets me the most reach, the most traction, the most engagement, the most leads and revenue generated. So Facebook is by far my favorite and main platform right now because I just get the most out of it. Um, I'm just a content machine to just pat myself on the shoulder. Like once you kind of make that decision in your head, like am I going to embrace going all into this thing and be willing to become addicted to social media, which I totally am, just full transparency, in order to get in that mindset of everything is content. I am always dialed in. I was on, for better or worse. It's worked out for me, and I'm still a productive member of society and have a great life in it. But like I was just on vacation. I was sledding, dog sledding, and so I'm like, I whipped my phone out and I said, "These 5 websites feel dangerous to know." I'm always checked in. I'll hear a quote from somebody on a radio or in an audio book or something will inspire, and I'm like, "Oh, content," and so I'll post it on Facebook real quick. Um, and so those are some of the things, just being willing to go deep and go all in. And that might not be healthy for everybody. It hasn't become a problem in my life. It's been much more of a significant benefit, but just being willing to go all in has really benefited me.
Wow. Wow. And thanks for the transparency there. Cause I think,
Yeah.
there's, when you're in that entrepreneur seat, we were just talking about this in one of our leadership cohorts this morning. Is that every entrepreneur, you have to be willing to embrace the idea that you have to be responsible for your company brand, but
Yeah.
you also have to be aware that you have a personal brand that you have to develop.
Mhm.
If you have an email address, if you have a Facebook account, you do have a personal brand, whether you like it or not. 90% of the leaders that we work with, they don't even know what to do when it comes to actually developing out their personal brand. Um, and then there's the other side of it as well. It's where it's like you kind of get to that place where you feel like you want to throw away your phone and just go, okay, I'm gonna go dark. I'm gonna hide away. Um, but for you, what you're saying is you just kind of lean into the idea that every single moment is an opportunity to be able to create content, to engage with people, and that's been one of your secret sauces, would you say?
Yeah, yeah. For better or worse, I'm just always plugged in. I mean, I post on Facebook 10, 15 times a day, almost an hour after I wake up to right before I go to sleep. I'm creating content or posting content or repurposing content. Um, yeah, it's about finding that balance of what works for you, but yeah, it's really an engagement with everybody too. Like, spending the additional time to respond to as many comments as possible and building relationships that maybe start online and then become, are taken offline. That's the benefit of conferences is like there's so many networking opportunities that happen all year long on Facebook. And then you meet these people at a conference in person, and it's just, the next level of that. Um, but yeah, I mean, that's how, it's always about delivering incredible value. If you want to grow online, like it's not really a secret. Social media is social, right? Like
Yeah.
if you're only having a one-way conversation, you're just dumping content, but you're not having dialogue, you're not really gonna grow. You're not gonna get the results that you want. You might gain, get views or gain followers, but it's not gonna actually turn into ROI for you. You have to build that trust and build that following and communication just through regularly chatting with them.
See, this has always been very interesting to me because the level of engagement that you have, though, it's different. I'm not seeing you do you do a lot of like boosted or paid ads?
Zero.
Yeah, it's like it's all organic. And so that's what so I'm looking at this post that you made 2 days ago. Big news, want to learn how to grow on social media, use AI tools, dot, dot, dot. As of this, you have close to 300 likes, hearts, or whatever. You have 127 plus comments. You have 34 shares. And I've seen some to where the other day, like, oh, this one you put 2 hours ago. This is just 2 hours ago. You're ridiculous. So it says rest RIP PowerPoint. Do you remember when you posted this?
Hmm.
You have over 2,500 like engagement points on it. So likes, hearts, whatever. And then 181 comments, 1.2K shares. Like, what the heck? Like, so how are you reaching new people? And how does this become organic? Like, is there a science behind this, or is it just you just kind of found your niche?
Well, I definitely found my niche. So one interesting thing about that post in particular, I'm very plugged in with the AI content creators community. Like there's literally an Instagram group of us now of like 60 AI tool content creators where we network and share, and we have Saturday morning Zoom calls together. Like I'm not even kidding. Like it's awesome community. And there's one guy that I've been connected with on Facebook, and I tagged him in that post. This was actually his post that I asked his permission for and shared. And so one sort of nuance is, study other amazing content creators that are in your niche. This was a post that got him. He at the time had 6,000 followers on Facebook. He's now up to 13 or 14,000 followers. This post he posted 2 or 3 days ago, and it was his first like real viral post. It doubled his follower count. It has over 10,000 shares on his comment. So that is content that works on a lower account. So it's proven to win, right? And so I asked him if I could emulate that to test it. And so I posted it. It's already a proven winning piece of content. And you see the results here 2 hours in. It worked for him because he's in the AI tool space. I have, 1,000 times more followers than he does. And so it instantly is obviously going to work for me as well. And so, having the ability to look at other people's content and chat with them about what's working for them and testing and seeing if it will work for your audience as well is a big piece of what works. And then just doubling down, like I'll have images. Like I've really expanded into like business motivation quotes as well. Um, Partially because I just want to hit that like 7-figure number of followers. Like I'm so close to hitting 1 million on Facebook.
Yeah, you are.
But yeah, it's just testing different content, seeing what works, and then going all in on it. And when you're testing, like, follow other amazing creators, network with them. Don't just straight up steal and don't like reference them at all. That's not cool. But like, there's proven formats, there's proven step-by-step processes. You don't need to reinvent the wheel when you're just getting started. I know what content gets the most engagement, and so that's what I post.
Wow. Wow. It's really enlightening. And when you kind of first dove into this, did you get to the place to where did you ever get frustrated feeling like you can't seem to engage with an audience or you can't grow your followership?
Yeah, sure. I mean, this was my personal profile. I turned my profile into professional mode like a year and a half ago, which is when I gained traction. But there's so many failed experiments. I have so many like failed theme pages and old YouTube channels that didn't work. But what's kept me motivated is I try to celebrate every milestone and every win, no matter how small.
Mm.
Uh, I gained 1,000 likes on a post, and I'll share it on Slack, or I'll like intrinsically celebrate myself. There's been tons of failure. Like it starts as early on. Like maybe most of your posts only get 3 likes, and then you do one that gets 20. Wow, that's awesome. Celebrate that. You just got 100x or 90, 80, 90x more engagement on that post. Awesome. Notice that little trend. Like pat yourself on the back. Be your own biggest supporter. It'll keep you motivated throughout.
I love it. I love this. So, speaking of celebrating every win, no matter how big or small, this is actually a philosophy that you've embraced and you've actually shared with your team. How has this mindset impacted your team's culture and motivation?
Yeah, it's awesome. So we have like channels in our Slack channel where we encourage everybody to share wins in their life, whether it's business, professional, or just personal. If they ran a 4-minute mile or so, or did something awesome, they learn something new. Like we celebrate one another, and that keeps everybody motivated. When we hit milestones in the company, we share those, and everybody celebrates together. We release a new feature. We have employee of the month, every month, and then we do team building activities on Zoom, and like spin the wheel competitions for prizes if you're the employee of the month. Motivation, I think, is essential, and it's a great way to nurture your team and reduce churn. Because it's from a business owner perspective as well, like it's much cheaper to retain the staff that you have than it is to hire new staff, right? So just take the time to motivate and encourage your team members. We do open office hours all the time as well. Like my calendar is open on my team. Anybody wants to chat with me about anything, we just like one of our artists is into, or graphic designers is really into anime, and I grew up watching anime. I still watch some anime, and so we just had like a 15-minute call just chatting about anime. And just cool stuff like that. So just, we try to really foster an awesome workplace community as well. And as we scale, I hope that we're able to retain that. We have about 19 employees right now, I think, and hopefully, we scale to 190 employees and still maintain that same workplace environment.
Yeah, see, and I fully support that, and I'm with you on that dream. We, working with teams, what we find a lot, especially in upper leadership, is this idea that senior leaders really have one of two priorities when it comes to leading their people. It's to either develop them or dismiss them.
Mm.
But they allow their organizations to kind of go down into the place of, the place of no return, because they allow their teams to sit in the middle, to have no development, but we're not actually going to let you go either. We're going to let you sit in that land of non-productivity or even lack of value. So I love that. I love that even just in your story, like hopping on a call, talk about anime. I tell people this all the time, man. It's always friendship before business when you're on a team.
Oh, yeah.
And you have to have that type of chemistry. You can have both. And I think that's where EQ is going to be one of the things that we talk about the most moving forward in team leadership. So,
Yeah. No, I love that.
well done. So you did talk about churn a little bit, and so churn, within especially within a SaaS startup, it can be a really challenging hurdle. Like we've seen hundreds of startups bite the dust because of churn.
Yeah.
Can you share a little bit of how your team at Syllabi, that you're tackling the issue and the lessons that you've learned along the way?
Yeah, so we have a worldwide workforce. We're a completely remote team, and so there are benefits and challenges to that, of course. So we, thankfully we're about a year and 3 months in business now, and we've had I think 4 employees hit the 1 year mark with us already. Um, and we have a pretty low churn rate overall. Now, of course, there's always churn percentages, but we've been very fortunate. Um, Part of it is just the hiring process. Um, Hire slow, fire fast is sort of a methodology that we've been incorporating. So really making sure that they are going to be a good fit before they even join the team. We have my business partner that I mentioned earlier too. Was my former boss, now business partner on the second business on Syllabi. He's a clinical psychologist, and so he has weekly dialogue meetings with the staff as well to foster, and that's something incredibly unique to us that I don't think many other companies have. So he fosters dialogue between, engineers and front end product owners, and like how to effectively communicate and get stuff off your chest. So like those meetings are something that the staff loves. Like the staff loves having that extra hour to just vent and communicate and learn different communication tools and strategies that'll not just benefit them within our company, but in their personal lives as well. I mean, little things that we've paid attention to as well is like when you're hiring remote people, you got to pay attention to people outsourcing under them, which is a problem that we've run into a couple times. Um, so we'll hire one person and then they are like outsourcing the work below them and just sort of reporting. And like we have pretty much a zero tolerance policy for that. Like, benefit of the doubt maybe once, but if you get caught, like you're out.
Yeah.
Because that's explicit up front, and that's just lazy work. So we'll catch that sometimes. Like we hire a lot through Upwork, and so there's just screenshots that go through that on their job, and so like we can really see like my CTO is brilliant, and so he's actually trained some people on our team to like spot like mouse jigglers. That it looks like they're active, or like charging extra hours, or the tabs are inconsistent. Like we had one guy that like primarily checks in through Windows like all the time, but then the work that was like being submitted was on iOS. And it was like so obvious that he was like outsourcing to somebody else on a completely different operating system.
Oh,
Uh,
wow.
and so like, little things like that, but we try to make it really rewarding. I mean, we're now rolling out like equity packages to our staff. We compensate for um, health benefits, and there's tons of incentives to stay with us because we're really putting our best foot forward to creating an awesome team. Because it comes from like you can have a great product, you can have great marketing, but if there's constant churn and turnover in your staff, the sort of there's that middle ground of quality that can wade away. And so I don't know. We're just trying to do all the right stuff and be good people. Like that's how I grew up in the workspace as well. It's just like pay it forward, treat your employees amazing, and they'll treat you amazing, and they become amazing advocates for the company as well.
Mm, that's powerful. Um, Before we dive in a little bit deeper here, Ben, this is really great too, by the way. You're dropping some really good content. So thanks for
Thank
making
you.
time to do this.
Oh,
Um,
thank you.
all right. So we're going to do a little bit of a game with the this or that segment. So, are you ready for this?
Let's do it.
Awesome. TikTok or YouTube?
TikTok.
All right. Why?
I like it more. I have a sweet spot for TikTok. I love hate relationship with TikTok. They don't like my content as much as other platforms. I think it's the best opportunity for every business owner to um, spread their message, drive sales. I think they're incredibly innovative. TikTok Shop is amazing right now, and they're trying different ways to monetize creators better. Um, and if you learn and master TikTok, it will set you up for success on other platforms, including YouTube.
All right. Love it. Morning brainstorming or late night creativity?
Late night creativity. I am not a morning person.
Come
I
on.
have very unimpressive morning schedule. I am not a 4 a.m. wake up at 4 a.m. and grind type of guy. I will sleep 8, 9 hours because I'm more productive that way. But I'm a night owl, so like I hit my peak stride like 7, 8, 9, 10 p.m. I'm in like the zone. Like my mornings, even like till like noon, like I'm fortunate that like a lot of my team is West Coast and I'm East Coast. And so like my day doesn't typically like my work day doesn't typically start till like 10, 11 a.m. And like I'll wake up at like, you know, 9 a.m.
I love it. It's
Yeah.
so good. All right. One more. Celebrating alone or team celebrations?
Yeah, team celebrations. I mean, you kind of going back to the earlier point, you got to be a cheerleader for yourself. You can't expect outside motivation to come. But I'm an extroverted person, so I'm a pure extrovert. I love being around people. I gain energy from being around people. So I very much a team sport, I think.
I love it. I love it. All right. So I want us to just to kind of spend this last second just talking about Syllabi, because this thing is like the coolest kid on the block right now.
Thank you.
And so it's fascinating tool, and and I do believe that this is one of the tools that could revolutionize social media content strategy for a lot of business owners.
Thank you.
Um, can you tell us a little bit more about the genesis of Syllabi and how it empowers users?
Yeah, so as a agency owner, I sort of notice the same problems over and over and over again from clients that are either the reason that they hired us or the reason that they couldn't afford to hire us. So business owners and content creators know they need to create content. Um, but they oftentimes don't know what topics to create. They don't know what to say on camera. Maybe they hate being on camera. They're camera shy. They're uncomfortable with how they look or whatever. They need help staying consistent and accountable. They don't have the funds to pay an expensive marketing agency. And so those are the problems. And then I sort of took at a high level what our agency does and my repeatable process, which is something that makes us completely unique from any other AI tool out there. It's a workflow tool. And so that's exactly what we do is we take people through this workflow on Syllabi of finding the trending topics and questions that your customers are searching for, real-time data. We then write the scripts for you around those topics in a script format that works, repeatable process of script structure. So you can hit the ground running on that. We have built-in AI avatars, which are like deep fake technology. We have, I think, 26 avatars in the system right now. Within 2 weeks, we're rolling out the ability to create a deep fake or real clone version of yourself. We already have voice cloning, and then we have talking photos as well. So you can upload a headshot or an animated image, and it will move your head and the mouth to read the actual script and in your own voice. And so that's the first half, right? In 2 minutes, you can find trending topics, create social media ready scripts, create the entire video. And then the back half is something that we've really focused on the last couple of months. So we built a custom video editor from scratch that's very similar. It's inspired by CapCut. So it's very intuitive. It's not like Adobe Premiere Pro. It doesn't need to be. But you can fully edit and customize the videos however you'd like, and then schedule and publish them directly to your social media platforms as well. And we have analytics built into it. So the posts that you share from Syllabi, you can actually track your analytics. So really the big vision is to sort of disrupt agencies. I've strategically priced it. We're rolling out even more pricing points right now. We're trying to make it even cheaper and more affordable. But I launched it 100 times cheaper than what my agency charges on a monthly basis to just make it as accessible for everybody. And it replaces like 5 different tools. So yeah, you could use ChatGPT. Yeah, you could use SEMrush. Yeah, you could use HeyGen. Yeah, you could use Hootsuite or Metricool. And yeah, you can check every individual platform for analytics. Or you could just use Syllabi in one streamlined platform to do the entire process. And so that's what we're really going with here. And it's been amazing. We've had tens of thousands of users this year so far. It's been truly a blessing. We've had a lot of amazing results on the platform, and tens of thousands of videos have been posted at this point from Syllabi. We have an awesome online community. It's just really cool. It's just been a cool journey.
I can't wait to dive into this. So where our team is going to integrate quite a bit of this into what we're doing. So I'm excited about it. Do you have any invitation or any offer specifically that you'd like to offer to our listeners to help engage with what you're doing?
Yeah, absolutely. So I'll give you a coupon code after 30 days free. So anybody that wants to try Syllabi, 30 days free. It's typically just 7 days. You can't find this coupon anywhere else. You can jump in, get a free month on me, and try it out and see if it's for you.
Man, I appreciate that, and I know that our listeners are gonna love this as well. So, man, well, thank you, Austin. You're amazing, and it's exciting just to kind of witness what you're doing and to be able to kind of see the type of impact that you're making. So, thanks for sharing your insights, your strategies with us today. It's clear that what I like about you is that this is not just about marketing. It's about empowering individuals and businesses to tell their stories better. So, thank you for all you're doing. To our listeners, if you're intrigued by the intersection of creativity, technology, and strategic marketing, I encourage you to explore Syllabi and the wealth of resources that Austin has made available to us. So don't forget to use the code that's going to be linked in the comment section here below. So make sure to do that to discover how Syllabi can elevate your content strategy. So in closing, I'm Michael King. Remember that in your journey of leadership and entrepreneurship, every win counts and every step forward is worth celebrating. Keep pushing boundaries, keep innovating, and never stop learning. So join us next time on the Level Up Leader podcast as we continue to explore the stories of remarkable individuals like Austin. Until then, stay motivated, stay curious, and level up. Austin, any final words or advice for our aspiring leaders and entrepreneurs?
Just get started and learn and improve 1% every single day, and it will compound to great lengths for you.